My name is Nesha.
My name is Jallah.
And I was born in Florida, but I was mainly raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, I was born in Albany, upstate New York.
And how we met was in college in 2013. So we've been together for 11 years.
11 big ones.
Oh, put this in the tape.
Okay. So we met in 2013 in college. It was a program upstate New York, probably like 45 minutes away from where I was, raised at. It's called Cobleskill. No one heard of it, but we went there. So it was a program during the summer for college students to get, acclimated with the campus. So during the program, everyone's, unpacking, talking to each other, trying to make some friends and whatnot. I don't really remember. I know Nesha was wearing something pink. So I went up there. I never said this to a girl, but I said, yo, she's beautiful. Then she smiled. The funniest thing when she smiled.
July. I didn't smile.
You did smile. When she smiled, the teeth was like this.
No.
And then, but me, I was looking crazy too. So we were really meant for each other. So it was like after that though, we just became friends.
I mean, I was looking for Advil, and he was on the second floor in the dorms, and then he said it out of nowhere. I was just like, but at first I was like, oh, like who's talking to me? But I said thank you because I'm not a disrespectful girl. My mom raised me right. But Jallah was shy because I think I laid the first one. I laid the first kiss. He was so shy. I'm like, why are you doing this? And ever since, I think now after that kiss, I think we're like, okay, let's just start dating. And I think the rest is history, honestly. It's been a minute.
So I'll be honest, going to college, like when she said, I was afraid to lay the first one, I was still involved with somebody. So like, I couldn't, I had to have some type of morals, right? So I was just like, it was kind of sleazy, I'm a different person obviously, but I just had to break that off. But during college, I didn't think it was true, but when you go to college, there's so many, there's people there. So even when me and Nesha were dating, distractions, all that, I was out there. Like I was doing whatever. It was crazy. And then one time, I'm playing 2K. I'm playing 2K with my friend.
Hip-hop, bro.
Yeah, I'm playing 2K with my friend, and I hear a knock on the door. And then Nesha and my ex is right there. And my friend was like, I'm gonna see you later. He just leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm just in the room by myself with both of them. It was wild. That's the angriest I've ever seen Nesha. It was crazy. Like, I have yet to see her that angry today. And then I knew after that, it was on me, that wasn't a good decision. But I knew, God was telling me how I should have did it, and whatnot. But I knew I had to choose chemistry over history. So I should have did it the right way the first time. So I made a decision, I had to convince her and whatnot. Convinced her, but still played around next semester.
So I guess I was over July, like he said, playing around and stuff. So I got distracted by someone else, but ended up being a female. So I was over July. I was over it. I was like, I want to do whatever I want. That was the time I was the furthest from God. I didn't care about nothing. I was like, screw this. So I ended up being in a female relationship for probably that semester. And then obviously me and Jallah was done. I think the reason why we thought it was completely done between us was because everyone on campus knew. We're a small campus, so how dumb will it look for us to get back together after everyone knows that, Jallah played me and I played him. You know what I mean? So whatever, we stopped talking, and then the person I was involved with failed out of college. So that was already God doing something number one. And then I kept getting dreams about Jallah, around it wasn't specifically Jallah. I was having dreams about me being on his family, around his neighborhood. And I remember telling God, man, I rebuke these dreams. There's no way I'm gonna be talking to this kid anymore. So I went to my mom, I was like, Mom, I keep having dreams about Jallah's family. And my mom was like, well, obey God, it's a warning, it's a sign. So I said, all right, God, if it's really real, then you gotta show me. I was trying to get my friend involved in it. I was like, can you text him to can we talk? And they were like, no, you have his number. So I unblocked his number. We texted each other and we spoke. And that day we were like, if we're gonna do this, then let's just clear everything out. Let's stop everything. And I think that was the reason why we ended up being where we are now.
So the way I would encourage a young couple trying to step into the boots of marriage, it's gonna feel sometimes that it's you and your wife against the world, or the wife and the husband. So it's gonna feel that way at some times. But one thing you do have to do is that if this makes any sense, you have to come home when you're in love and out of love, and because it's worth it. There's plenty of things that me and Nesha have been through. You know, there's been times where I was holding it down financially, but because I seen how money has messed with my parents, I would do it 100 times over.
I would definitely say, do not bring people into your relationship, because if I would have listened to the campus and not, listen to what God was showing me in the dreams, me and Jallah would never be here. And it was tough, because let me tell you, when people found out we was together, Snapchat was blowing up on campus. So I'll definitely say, like, try not to bring so many opinions or things into your relationship, because ultimately God's gonna give it to you. And there are trusted people that God will, like, bring along the way, you know what I mean, to like talk to you and things. But I do say, like, just try to keep it on the low and find trusted people, I would say. Also, faith, there's plenty of times me and Jallah could have called it quits. I think marriages in this world, money is probably one of the biggest things that causes people to get divorces. So the fact that we have faith and we knew there's a bigger picture to this, I definitely would say that was probably one big thing. And communication, always talking, never assume things, always talking, letting things out. And one good thing that me and Jallah always do, and we make sure we never go to sleep angry, because it will give the enemy a foothold. Come on now. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Oh my God.
If you ask, your significant other, what's wrong?
Gosh.
Answer the question. Don't say no 5 times. And if I'm eating food and then randomly something just pops up, like, keep it 100. Like, say what's up. You're gonna be like, oh, nothing. Nothing. And then just like washing the dishes, like, bing, bing, like, say what's up. That's it.
That's it.
How did we end up in Colorado? So that's, it was a long path. COVID happened. We felt like God was telling us to move to Florida. Always wanted to move there, and plus we wanted to check on her family too. It just was a whole bunch of variables that was gonna be beneficial to us. So we moved there, bought our first home with the money we were supposed to use for a wedding that I really wanted. But Nesha came to me like, I feel like God's telling us to buy a home. So we bought the home, lived there for 1 year, sold the home, stayed with her family for a year, which was great but terrible, because we were like moving from room to room every day. Like,
one day we were in the living room, one day we were in my sister's room. No privacy, so we sacrificed, our own alone time, I would say.
Right. After that, I lived there for a year, and then God was just like, okay, transfer your job to back to Albany. So I'm going back to Albany, but I needed to check on my folks one time. A lot of the times, I feel like we're not, I'm not to be braggadocious, we're not golden children or anything, but it's just that just being there helping my folks out, they really appreciate it. So we went there for 2 months. I was able to get a transfer and leave Albany, and then I got a job to transfer to Colorado. So it was quick. We found a home. We flew to Colorado for 1 weekend, found a home. Nesha found this perfect home that we're in right now, and then we put an offer in, and then here we are.
Yeah. And a part of that, how we ended up in Colorado, is crazy, because Jallah randomly was like, let's do something for my birthday. This is why we're in Florida now. And he was like, I miss the cold, So he's like, I don't want to go back to Albany. I'm born and raised there. So we'll go somewhere else. So he said, choose a vacation spot. I don't care what it is. Just as long as I can snowboard. That's what he really wanted. So mind you, we're in Florida. I said, there's 3 spots. Choose a spot. Jallah was like, let's do Colorado. So we go to Colorado. We had the vacation. We spent his birthday there, 2021. Mm-hmm. While we're driving on the highway, Jallah, we're in Florida now. Jallah's like, we're gonna buy a house here. And I'm like, we just moved to Florida. I'm done moving. Like, I feel like we moved so many times. He was like, we're gonna buy a house here. So now, of course, God's downloading dreams. I keep having dreams about Colorado. I keep seeing license plates in Colorado and Florida. And I'm like, I see a plane ticket, 2021 in March, that we're going to Colorado. So this is March, his birthday, 2021. Now we go back to Colorado 2022 for his birthday. And me and Jallah still feeling it, but we don't feel like it's time to move yet. And then obviously, like, we're with my parents, now we're with his parents. And then now 2023, March again, now we're here. All along it was God's plan, just trying to like put things in, trying to like bug our ear a little bit. And that's how it really happened. We kept seeing Colorado, but we just knew it wasn't time yet until now.
Nesha found out about Anchor. I think it was through it was like an ad or something like that.
Yeah, search up on Google churches near me. Yeah. Anchor was the first thing that popped up. And we was just chilling in the living room. I was like, yo, we haven't been to church in a minute since we moved here. When I was looking at the like Anchor website and stuff, I literally said, Jallah, this is like a family-oriented church. It looks so like intimate, and they actually look like they care. And I was like, all right, let's try it. And then the next day we went to church. So Pastor David kept trying to like reach out to us. And me and Jallah was like, nah, like, this can't be real. Like, people actually want to hang out, have coffee, and they'll know our story. So we kind of like brushed him off. You know, he'll tell us, yo, like, you know, I text you, and I'm like, yeah, we've been so busy. I'm like, nah, we just not writing back. So that's how it happened. And then ever since then, man, like, Anchor's been nothing but a blessing, and we honestly, truly love it. Like, it's a very, very great church. One thing I would definitely say is just being at Anchor, like, me and Jallah really feel like this is our home. But we always said we wanted, like, whenever we have kids, to have, like, you know, you hear kids, like, I've been here since I was this, and they're like 20 years old. Like, we're finally able to say, like, our child is gonna grow up, you know, with the other Anchor kids. You know, we're all gonna grow up with each other, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely feel happy about that, because, like, it's definitely important to, you know, raise your, you know, child up the best way you can. But it's like, to have a place where I genuinely feel like this is home, I think that's probably one of the happiest things. I'm so glad that we found that. So God's very intentional with what he did with Anchor, with Colorado, with everything.
So some of the things that I appreciate the most, you know, being at Anchor, which I didn't really, you know, appreciate at first, was, you know, really the community and, you know, everyone's eagerness to, like, you know, really, you know, just invest in everyone's lives, and that's what love, you know. I think it's really because, you know, like, I'm not really used to that, you know, where I'm from, and, you know, growing up, it's always like, okay, like, I can't trust that person, like, you know, what do you want? What are you trying to do? But it's really not like that, you know. I think it's just the things of this world that we get, you know, we get affected by, you know, and it has a toll on you. But I talk to everyone now, you know what I mean? Like, besides the word, but other than that, you know, that's the most thing I appreciate, just to have, like, you know, some male figures in my life, you know, that share the same type of dream, and you know, want everyone to win, like, genuinely.
So what I've appreciated about being an Anchor so far, I would definitely say community. One of the things that me and Jallah have been praying about for years is having married couples as friends. There's nothing wrong with having, obviously, single people, but we never got a chance to have that because we got married young. So now we're able to share those things, like, you know, going out to eat, even people who are dating, like, we weren't able to, like, have that before. Definitely community. Even people just caring, like, hey, do you have any prayer requests and stuff, or like, how can we help you pray, you know, coming over our house and stuff, chilling, you know, we never really had that. So, like, and then the word, I would definitely say, like, Pastor David, the way he preaches, like, he's talking to you. I feel like when you go to, like, there's nothing wrong with big churches, but, you know, they're not able to say hi to everybody after the service, you know, because it's such a big church. Versus here, it's like, we're able, like, to catch up, talk on the word. You know, he's very, I would say you could tell he's led by the Spirit. You know, a lot of people do things out of their own will versus, you know, following what the Spirit does and says, you know, and acting on that. So I definitely appreciate that. All right, so a couple things that God has done with me personally while attending Anchor. I would definitely say not having a religious relationship with him. Coming from a Haitian culture, like, everything is pretty straightforward. Like, it sounds silly, but go to church with a skirt on. You know, a woman has to look like this. Versus coming here, I feel like I was able to have a relationship with him just based on just our lives and beliefs and faith versus religious. Also, I used to have a relationship with God where I feel like if I messed up, I feel like, dang, is it over? Like, are we done and stuff like that? Where I feel like I have to do something good to get his approval. So I think coming here is just like, you know, we're literally all messed up, you know, but by the grace of, you know, Jesus Christ, we have, you know, a chance to live, and, like, we're free from all of that sin and guilt and shame. So that's how I'm having my relationship with God now. Another thing that has been a blessing with me since Anchor is I received the gift of tongues, which is something I've been praying about for the longest. It's crazy because when Pastor David was like, you know, he was fired up that day. I remember that one. And he was just like, you know, we have this relationship with God and this stuff is already here. It's like, do you have enough faith to, like, receive it and, you know, believe it? So I went to the altar and I could feel my mouth forming, but in my head I'm like, is this it? Is this how it's supposed to look or sound or feel? So I remember that whole day, Holy Spirit kept bugging me. Like, I just felt like fiery burning sensation the whole time. And I went downstairs to get something to eat. This is right before I'm going to bed. And we play Kurt Franklin radio on Pandora every time before we go to sleep in our living room on Alexa. So a song came on, I swear to you, for like 45 minutes, just the tongue, the language. And I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wow, I had enough faith to believe it. And ever since then, like, you know, I speak in tongues, you know, when I'm led to and stuff. So that to me was probably one of the biggest things, because I've been praying about it and I was able to finally receive it by faith. So that was awesome.
One thing that God has done, you know, for me individually, you know, being an anchor, I feel that, you know, God has, you know, put something in me where to be like a leader. And then I feel that word is used a lot, but it's really different. Being a leader means you have to make some tough decisions, especially in your household, you know, to protect, you know, your faith, to protect your family. And to honestly, you know, be able to teach, you know, other people the way without actually like hammering it in their head. You know, just being an example does enough. The
things I've seen God do in our marriage, or like in Jallah personally, while being an anchor, I'll definitely say Jallah is more open. Jallah has always been a friendly person, but I would definitely say he wasn't as open to believers as much. And I think it's because of the past hurt. So I think now he's able to trust that, like, you know, us believers, like, we can still kick it. I feel like people think just because we're Christians, we can't have fun, like we can't play ball, we can't watch TV and stuff. So I realized that he's seen that, like, you know, if he wants to chill with some friends, like it's okay to like have fun and stuff, you know what I mean? I would say we pray more. I mean, we pray, but I think now we pray more on our marriage, or like, let's say, you know, our home or our love, or, you know, guide us to be, you know, parents to now our newborn and certain things. So it's like we see other people doing things and they're like, we'll kind of take it in, kind of tweak it, you know? So it's kind of like their examples to us. One thing is Jallah has gotten better with his tithing. I think tithing for us, I think for him it felt more like a chore, like a bill, versus now he really, am I lying?
No, that's real.
Right. Because I remember Jallah was like, you know, Pastor Dave was talking about, like, you know, if you're not ready to give, you know, the 10%, let God lead you there, but, you know, do what's on your heart, be a cheerful giver, and Jallah has been doing that really well. So
I try to do it where I don't think of, like, you know, and when I mean by, you know, do what's on your heart, it can be over that 10%. Like, that's fine with me. I'm cool with that. I mean, for me, like, I would hear God be like, okay, I want you to give this to that person, you know, because that counts, you know, as tithing. I tend to think of it as like, God, lead me where you want me to put this. But I feel really comfortable putting it into the church because I know, you know, what's going to be done. It's very difficult for me, I would say. It's like, you know, I wouldn't be involved too. Like, even tithing is making me like, okay, what can I do now? Like, I can tithe my time as well, you know, along with my finances and being involved. So, you know, just praying about it, trying to figure out, okay, where do I best fit? You know, where can I help out at? It's you know, I'm telling you, the word can really, you know, lead them to different things. But tithing has definitely been something that's been, you know, really good for me. And I'm actually happy to do it. So one thing that I've seen, like, what God has done in Nesha is she's very afraid of, you know, conflict. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, like you're the one causing it, or you can't go ahead and just calm the conflict down. And what I mean by that is that I see Nesha really, you know, take up for me, like, as, you know, me being her husband. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, she put me at a certain level. It was like, you gotta, like, if you asking me, like, you gotta go ahead and ask, you know, talk to my husband too, you know, because, you know, she gives me that respect that has made me feel so much better as a man. Another thing, I want to add another thing that I've learned, like, for me, is I've been dealing with a lot of, like I love my, you know, I've been dealing with a lot of thoughts of me being black sheep of my family. And the only reason I say that because, you know, I love my family, but, you know, Nesha can attest that, like, a lot of people has, like, you know, lost their way, not just with just, you know, belief, but just in life in general. Like, there's some things a lot of people has challenged me with as far as my decisions, and God would say, I don't want you to, you know, it's God when it's a tough thing to do, I promise you. Like, there's certain things that God doesn't want you to explain because people may not understand, but they'll understand if you just keep doing it, if that makes any sense. So I think, you know, like I said, brings me back to the leader aspect. It's like, okay, like, this is that, you know, I'm happy to have a conversation with you, but I won't apologize on the path that God's put me on. Like, you know, mess around and get left. You know what I mean?
Word.
Word.